Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, I'm playing a series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie, I've been meaning to go over there and review this place for a little bit. But we'll get into that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer around about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. And folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, folks? Well, it happens to be my The Union Underground shirt, which I actually just got a little over a week ago now. So yeah, Union Underground, if you're unfamiliar with them, they were a band that came out of Texas in either the very late 90s or very early 2000s. They were part of the nu metal scene at that time. They never managed to, really reach up to, the heights, your Korns, your Slipknots, what have you. But they did well for themselves, in the kind of limited time that they were around. They managed to go over there, put out, an album. The album did pretty well for what it was. And then kind of most significantly, one of their songs was featured pretty prominently on WWE programming at that point in time. So that was pretty cool. I actually didn't have the WWE association. I just liked the album. But I was really fortunate, after basically not being a band for 20 years or so, they finally, an entity known as the Union Underground with one of its original members actually decided to go on tour. And I took that opportunity. I got my shirt. I also got some videos from the performance, just in case maybe you're interested. Those videos are on this channel as well. And I'd be more than happy to go over there and point you in the right direction as far as the Union Underground stuff is concerned, because I think they're really cool. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Well, like I said, this is a place I've been meaning to hit for a while. It actually originally was it's been a bunch of things over the years, but it originally, the last time I was in the area, it was a little burger place, and I guess they closed, which is sad. Burger places should always stay open. But instead, what we got is, boom, it's a place called Mochii Donut. And I was like, okay, that sounds amazing. And look at the box and everything is super adorable. I love it. The lady behind the counter was just super cool. And apparently this is a thing. There are a number of locations. I don't know if this is specifically an Illinois kind of brand. If it is, then it'll end up on my Eating Out Illinois playlist. If it's not, then it'll just be one of my normal reviews. But anyway, let's take a look at and it says, for somebody sweet like you, that's adorable. It's also inaccurate. I'm not sweet at all. But this is one of their Mochii donuts. This specifically is their, let's get a thing, and they're so pretty. It is their Matcha donut, or Mochii donut. I think, we get a thing for a thing. Unfortunately, the lighting is terrible. It's just, yeah, let's do that. All right, let's try the thing out. That's good. That's real good. Despite the fact that I love trying out weird foods, and especially stuff from Asia I've always been a big fan of, I think I've only maybe had Mochii one time. And if you're unfamiliar, Mochii, it's like a rice kind of pastry, like a rice flour pastry thing that they do. And so I guess the donuts are basically a combination of sort of Eastern and Western type of things. I really like it just pulls apart really nicely. It's so light and fluffy. But then at the same time, the texture on these is amazing. I'm loving this. So, I also appreciate the little wafer stick. That's cool. Got kind of a pocky thing going on to it. But yeah, I really like the texture on these. Like, they remind me, the closest donut I can think of that they remind me of a little bit would be like a Krispy Kreme, because they're very light, very fluffy. And I really do appreciate that. But I actually like the texture on these more because they still have some density to them, you know? They're not as dense as like a Dunkin' Donuts donut. They're light and fluffy, more like a Krispy Kreme, like I was saying. But like they don't feel as ethereal as Krispy Kreme donuts kind of do. Like, it feels there and very good. I also like the way they pull apart. That's cool. It's nice. It's sweet, but not like overly so. I will say, if it's because I'm an idiot, I should have gone over there and, because it's a mochi place, right? But in my head, like, it just associated matcha instead of mochi, because that's just what I'm more familiar with. I'm pretty sure this is one of their matcha donuts. If it is, the way that they've made the, like the frosting and everything, it's not like a heavy matcha flavor. It's, because matcha, if you've ever had it, I mean, it can almost be a little bit gamey if you go too heavy with it. Like, I like some matcha, but you gotta know where to use it and when. With this, there's kind of an earthiness to it, just a little bit though. The rest of it is just nice and sweet. It's flavorful, it's really tasty. I really like this. I like this a lot. Like, I love the texture, I love the taste of it. That's just fantastic. And it also begs mentioning that they don't just do donuts. They kind of have like this sort of general assortment of what's becoming increasingly common in the United States, sort of like these various Asian, Western treats. So they've got the Mochii donuts, obviously. They have like ice creams available. They also have like bubble tea. They even have like Korean corn dogs. So like, they're kind of hitting all that stuff. But I have to say, specifically for the donut I just had, that was fantastic. That is genuinely, I mean, I'm not, I've reviewed some donuts on the channel. I'm not going to say it's the best donut I've ever had, but that's a standout donut for me. That was really tasty. But two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Clearly, yes and yes. Like, on both fronts. I'm definitely going to hit this place again. It's in St. Charles, Illinois, the one that I've been to, but I did look it up. There's a few, at least, in the Illinois area. And I think for me, man, I'm definitely going to have to, hit this place up, because it's just, I appreciate what they're offering. I like the combination of the East and the West stuff. I'd be interested to try, like, their Korean corn dogs and stuff, because I've tried those from a few places now. But even just this one donut, like, again, I really like what they did with it. I like the fusion aspect to it. And it was just really tasty and clearly put together really well. And I really enjoyed it. And if I'm recommending it, I mean, I can only recommend it based off just this one item. So take that for what it is. But I did really like this. And I think that it's one of those things where hopefully, again, it's becoming more and more widespread in America, these like sort of Asian eateries and stuff, and beyond, just kind of like the classic Chinese food that I think a lot of people my age grew up with. And personally, I think that's fucking awesome. I think it's great that we're getting this greater diversity available to us, because we get to try these cool things. And my hope is that people will try, this spot out, because it's really good. And the donut that I had, like I said, I like just the texture was really good. The flavor was really tasty. It wasn't like overly heavy or anything. It wasn't like super overly sweet. It was just a really good experience. So, anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. You go over there, have yourselves a truly donut-tastic rest of your life, because donuts are just good, man. It's just, you enjoy yourself some donuts. Donuts are good. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important that we go over there when we can. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there, maybe you're fortunate enough to have one of these cool sort of Asian, eateries near you. But maybe, for one reason or another, you just haven't partaken as of yet. My challenge to you then would be, get out there and give it a go. And it doesn't even have to be, like an Asian spot or something like that. You would be surprised at just like how cool your food scene can be locally and you not even realize it. Like almost yearly, I end up finding new places and like new food experiences that I was completely unaware of, despite the fact that I've lived, more or less in kind of the same area my entire life. So I just personally think that's cool. But anyway,